every day, to nurse or not to nurse in public. Tonight we've got a story for you about one mother who's taking her case to the Human Rights Commission after a confrontation in Newmarket. Here's our 905 reporter, Lucy Lopez.
Senira Longuinho is putting on a happy face for her daughter Camilla, but she says she's still angry after being told not to breastfeed in a Newmarket pool.
I was numb, I didn't know what to do, I was shocked, I was like, why? What is all this? No, I was just breastfeeding.
But the owner of the pool says her priority was keeping the pool clean for everyone.
It's possible and very highly likely that the child who's just finished drinking, having their breast milk, is going to either throw up or have a bowel movement.
When word of what happened got out, angry mothers flooded Carcuti with emails. What happened next only made matters worse. Longuinho and several of her friends showed up at the Newmarket pool to silently protest what happened to her. They were greeted with 4 security guards dressed in bulletproof vests, armed with handcuffs. Longuinho says she's taking her case to the Human Rights Commission. Laura Brady has been following Longuinho's story closely. When she was told not to breastfeed in a Caledon pool, she took it to the Human Rights Commission and won.
Well, they said it was a human rights issue, that I have a right to breastfeed anywhere, anytime, in a public space or a private space.
York Region promotes breastfeeding anytime, anywhere. And health officials told us breast milk will not harm pool water. But Carcuti maintains she didn't do anything wrong.
I offered her other areas. I didn't tell her to cover up. I didn't kick her out of the building.
But in the court of public opinion,
does it make you uncomfortable if you were to see it?
A little bit, but you know, if it's they're not flaunting kind of thing, which they aren't, so it's okay.
I think 2 thumbs up for breastfeeding anywhere.
that's exactly the message Longuinho wants to send to all breastfeeding mothers. Lucy Lopez, CBC News, Woodbridge.
But some people say one woman went too far. Jackie Crandalls tells us who claims it's more of a public health issue than a human rights issue in this particular case. Jackie?
Jane, the issue of breastfeeding in public isn't a new one, but for a business owner in Newmarket, she says she has the best interests of her patrons in mind when it comes to where it can be done on her property. Senira Longuinho is nursing her 20-month-old baby Camila in the comfort of her home in Woodbridge. But recently, Camila's feeding time has been at the center of a heated debate.
I was very surprised, I didn't know what to do, I was numb.
During a swimming session with her daughter at this indoor pool in Newmarket, Senira sat on these steps and with the lower half of her body still in the pool, began to breastfeed.
She was the owner and she asked me to go to the change room. I stayed in the pool, I stopped breastfeeding and I stayed in the pool for a few minutes more until the end of the time. And in my way home, I realized that something was wrong. I knew that I had the right to breastfeed in a public place and that was a violation of my human rights.
Anytime, anywhere, as long as it's not in the pool.
Ellie Caruti is the owner of the pool and is also 4 months pregnant. She asked Longuinho to move after receiving a complaint from a lifeguard. She says she did so because of health and safety concerns.
There's a possibility the water can get polluted. You're breastfeeding a child, there's a possibility they're going to spit or have bowel movement or throw up, which basically is polluting the water. We have health and safety regulations that clearly state no one will pollute the water.
Longuinho is currently in the process of filing a complaint with the Ontario Human Rights Commission, but the debate does not end there. It's one that many people have strong opinions about.
If the woman's above the water, I don't see what the issue is. I think it's a natural thing. I mean, I've had 2 children and both of them were breastfed in weird places, and you have to go with, they want to be fed where they want to be fed.
It is a natural thing, but you know, you don't do things like that out in public. You know, I wouldn't put it that way.
I think it's a personal choice. If she elected to do this in a swimming pool, that was her choice to do it. And, you know, whether other people don't believe in it or thought it was inappropriate, it still is her right.
And the Ontario Human Rights Commission says a woman can't be prohibited from breastfeeding in public or even asked to move, but the Ministry of Health does set rules that ban food and drink from pool areas. Reporting live in Aurora, I'm Jackie Crandalls for A News.
Thank you, Jackie. Let's get a first check on the forecast now.
Right, here's what she had to say about the incident and why it has left her stunned.
I was very surprised, very shocked about all that. I didn't know what to do, so I stopped breastfeeding.
Senora Longino knows she has the right to breastfeed in public. That's why she was so surprised when asked to get out of a Newmarket pool when she was breastfeeding her daughter, Camilla.
Then this lady came and she said that she was the owner and that she had a complaint and for me to use the change room to breastfeed.
Longino had been sitting on the steps of the pool, which is in a privately owned facility. She did stop feeding, but didn't feel right about it.
Breastfeeding is like something that while I was pregnant, well, in reality, since my childhood, I always dreamed about when I had a baby, I would breastfeed her.
The incident kicked up such controversy, the owner of the center put this message up outside.
Now coming up at 6, I speak with the owner of the pool about why she felt she had to ask the mom to leave and why the mom isn't allowed back.
You're watching City News at 5 straight.
When she was breastfeeding her daughter, Camilla.
Then this lady came and she said that she was the owner and that she had a complaint and for me to use the change room to breastfeed.
This is the Aqua Center in Newmarket where Longino was breastfeeding. We pulled up today and here's what we found. Longino had been sitting on the steps of the pool, which is in this privately owned facility. The owner is Ellie Carcuti. We caught up with her downtown. Do you think it's fair that a mother who is breastfeeding is not allowed to sit by the pool and do that?
Oh, the mother should not be allowed to do that.
Carcuti says she is abiding by health and safety regulations.
You're not supposed to obviously urinate in the pool. You're not, if you have an open cut or a sore, you're not supposed to go in the pool. So a bodily fluid is a bodily fluid.
Carcuti says if moms agree to nurse at least 6 feet from the edge of the pool, that's fine. But she says Longino and her supporters won't do that, so she has banned them from the center.
Do you think you will go back?
No, I don't think so.
And just a final note here, the owner of the pool is actually pregnant herself. I asked her if she would be breastfeeding. She said yes, just not in the pool.